about 23 months ago. I was a graduate student and computer science tutor at DePaul University, spending my days studying and my evenings sitting in on classes. Like many of you, I was also spending long hours reading the news, horrified at what was happening in Israel and Gaza, and even more upset by how the world was reacting to it, ripping down hostage posters and turning the good guys into villains and painting evil in a positive light. Also, like many of you, I was in several Jewish or pro-Israel WhatsApp groups, some of which had popped up in the aftermath of October 7th. One of them is called CID Community. I'm a frequenter of a group called Chicago Israeli Folk Dancing. It's a group that meets in Evanston, and they have two WhatsApp groups. And in one of those groups, on November 17th, 2025, a British-Israeli dancer named Colin shared a document called Golda's List, which someone had compiled. The list basically had information about any initiative that people can do to help out. Like, a lot of people are feeling helpless. This is a document with all the things you can do right now to help Israel or the hostages, sitting in your couch in Skokie, Illinois. And the list had information about Run for Their Lives, among other things, and called upon people to form new groups. At the time, there were groups walking on the East Coast, West Coast, and in the Rocky Mountains, but none in the Midwest. So I decided to start the first Run for Their Lives group in the Midwest. I applied, and on November 19th, a lady named Taryn from the Run for Their Lives International Leadership Team reached out to schedule a phone call. We spoke on November 22nd, and I created the WhatsApp group on November 27th. Our first walk was on Sunday, December 3rd, with 7 people: Yuri Friedman, Phil Rappaport, Luba Kotler, Yefim Kotler, Sarah Evans, Stephen Spear, and myself. So let's a round of applause to our initial walkers. I feel like it's Phil over here with a couple others. 6 weeks after I started our group, the number of people in the WhatsApp group was approaching 100, and we were consistently getting 20 to 30 people showing up every week. I had gone to many churches and synagogues in Skokie and Wilmette, inviting the clergy and the members to join our growing movement. About 6 weeks after I started the initiative, I realized it was getting too big for one person to handle. So I made an announcement at the beginning of the walk on January 7th, 2025, asking if anybody who wants to join, if anybody wanted to stay after the walk and help out. And 2 people, after the end of the walk, they said, they stood up, they came up to me and they said, I want to help out. And that was Anna Lapson and Matthew Glevy, and the rest is history. Yay! Give a round of applause to Anna and Matthew, please. We have much to be proud of. We have counted elected officials, influencers, candidates for office, and many others among our speakers. Jews, Muslim, Christians, liberals, and conservatives. At our many events, we have had state senators Schoenberg, Fine, and Feigenholz, Alderman Deborah Silverstein, Committeeman Bruce Leon, School Board Member Bushra Amiwala, Reverend Father Mark Francis, Rabbi Jeffrey Weil, and University of Chicago Hillel Rabbi Anna Levin Rosen, Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, Congressman Brad Schneider, influencer and community leader Shabbos Kestenbaum. And most importantly, we've been a home for the Poland family. The grandmother Leah Poland and aunt Abby Poland frequently would come to our walks. And Judith Renan, the very first released hostage. Also, we were a home to both of them as well. We have appeared on the front cover of Skokie Review, Wilmette Life, featured on ABC and NBC stations in Chicago. Thanks to all of you and all the efforts we've put in. Written letters to the editor to complain about biased reporting, and partnered with Congregation Or Torah to host a phone drive calling congressmen around the country, urging them to do more to bring the hostages home. We have walked with the Chicago Jewish Alliance, Allison Slovin and the Simon Wiesenthal Center, Stand With Us, the Assyrian community at their New Year parade, and with DePaul students who are facing down a pro-terrorist encampment, and with many other Run for Their Lives groups in the Chicago area, including North Shore, Buffalo Grove, Lakeview, Lincoln Park, and Oak Park. On a personal note, my relationship with Sargis Sangari, a respected Assyrian community leader in Skokie, has flourished into a new organization, the United Jewish and Assyrian Heritage Organization, which is where I will be focusing my time and efforts in the foreseeable future. Americans are fond of the phrase, how is this still happening in 2025? You hear people say, like, how is this happening in whatever the current year is? It's this year. And one of the lessons I've taken from this movement and just from learning about the world, and I'm 27 years old. I'm not that old yet. I'm still learning a lot. One of the lessons I've taken is that things don't linearly move from negativity to positivity, from evil to good, from darkness to light. Things sometimes need to be pushed. Good people need to stand up and push things towards moral clarity, towards goodness, towards righteousness. Another lesson I've learned, it's important to think outside the box. Sometimes all organizations do things a certain way and they've learned that that's the right way to do things. And sometimes, as time goes on, things change, the environment changes, you need to think outside the box, you need new ways of thinking, new ways of doing things. That's another thing I've learned. And then I think the final lesson, the most important lesson I'd like to impart to all of you is cultivate genuine relationships with people. Not transactional relationships because people can see through transactional relationships. Genuine relationships where you actually care about the other person cares about you, and you do things together. Because you can't do anything big on your own. You need to build coalitions. And so let's just give another round of applause to everybody who put in time and effort for making this a success.